a nostalgic journey. It was a brilliant, sunshiny day when Tansy True and her chums, Bets and Joe, set forth on a carefree excursion in Tansy's green roadster. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the...
We were headed for Loon Lake, the picturesque village where Tansy had spent the first 4 years of her childhood. Blonde with a trim figure and sparkling blue eyes, Tansy had already achieved distinction at the age of 16. In addition to her skill and cleverness at solving mysteries, she was always willing to lend a helping hand to anyone in trouble.
These admirable qualities led her into one adventure after another, beginning with a thrilling plunge into the sinister world of obstetrics gynecology in
The Secret of the Old Duck.
The Secret of the Old Duck.
The most recent test of her sleuthing abilities was the clue in the girls' gymnasium, in which, you may remember, she was rewarded for her work with a handsome silver hockey stick. Rain, what a glorious feeling, I'm happy.
Tansy was an only child, but this fact had never made her selfish. She was generous to a fault and probably the most popular young person in River Hills. Bets and I were proud of our chum and liked to share in her exciting exploits.
Jo Payne, an attractive girl with a boy's name, always lent a
My cousin, plump and dimpled Bets Mardine, could be relied upon to stick by her friends, even in those tight moments when she would much prefer to be safe at home.
Again, I'm laughing at clouds so dark above. Stepping on the clutch, Tansy deftly shifted gears, and the green roadster fairly leapt forward, as if it too were eager for an outing. Love, I'm singing, just singing in the rain.
Oh, why are we singing that song? It isn't raining.
Oh, I know, but it makes me feel nostalgic, as if I were in a 1930s musical.
What do you mean nostalgic? You are in a 1930s musical. It's 1936, the depths of the Great Depression, in case you've forgotten.
Yes. Carefree 1936. Prices low, the war not in sight for another few fun-filled years. And here we are, out for a jaunt in your speedy green roadster. Oh, Tansy, do you think we'll meet up with an adventure? Is there a mystery here? Is there a mystery here? Do birds go south in winter? Do babies mess their drawers? Do women want an equal break? Are politicians whores? Of course, there's a mystery here. Look, look, a mystery round the corner. Shh, shh, it's knocking at our doors. We ask, is there a mystery here? Following each clue, we're tracking down malevolence. We're trailing something new. Secret passage, fingerprint, hidden room. We're on the scent of something creepy, sneaky, eerie, scary. Watch your step, be leery, wary. Enigmas surround you, just open up your eyes. Riddles all around you, once you realize the world is full of mysteries waiting to be solved, and only women really know the danger that's involved. Bumps and thumps and screams in the night. A woman's being battered, cops won't come to stop the fight. It's just a family matter. Look into your history book, there's half the chapters missing. Oh, could someone overlook that women were existing? Language is a secret code, we're trying hard to crack it. Words are sacred, we are told. To doubt is to attack it. But
The offer's on the table, recruiting new detectives just as soon as they are able. Is there a mystery here? Is there a mystery here? Come close, link arms, join the group. Sisters sleuth, let's get the scoop, attack the problem's face. Of course, there's a mystery here.
Oh, it'll be very strange if we don't meet up with the mystery. The whole time we've been 16 years old, we've had 32 adventures. That averages out to, carry the two. 2.7 per month. As regular as my menstrual cycle. Another one should be due at any minute. It usually makes its appearance when estrogen is at high tide.
Oh, Joe, you reduce everything to biology. Aren't you excited by the prospect of a new mystery to solve?
Oh, I am. I can't wait to try out my karate on a villain.
You know there are villains all around you, but it's a trick to catch one in the act of carrying out a heinous deed.
That was an uncharacteristic speech for Bets. You see, we're all divided up into types of females. She's supposed to be giddy and excitable and say things like golly and gosh a lot. While Joe here is the tomboy, likes to play sports, go for tramps in the woods, that sort of thing. She says jeepers frequently.
Tansy, on the other hand, is the perfect wasp female. Blonde, blue-eyed, slim-figured, the works. She speaks correct English and never uses slang.
In Tansy True mystery stories, only the villains are dark-skinned, fat, say ain't, or speak with a foreign accent.
Well, it sure was a keen idea to drive back to your old hometown, Tansy. Have you really never been back since the death of your mother when you were 4?
That's all right, Joe. I don't really remember much about the town. Soon after Mother died, Father, that is, Carlson True, the famous criminal lawyer, took me to River Hills where we have relatives. Oh, I've often yearned to see the old hometown again. Head of ruin. Old and faithful housekeeper suggested the excursion, and a grand idea it was, too.
Well, I am so glad you asked us to come along. We always enjoy being your sidekicks on these adventures, even if you do get all the glory and we never get any credit or mention in the press.
Press?
Miss True, is it true that you single-handedly captured a gang of slumlords who were evicting poverty-stricken flood victims?
Well,
That was pretty cool work, Miss True. How did you manage it?
Well, I wasn't exactly single-handed. My friends, Joe and Beth.
Miss True, how much of an influence has your father been on your work as a detective?
My father?
Carlson True, the famous criminal lawyer.
Well, actually, my friends, Joe and
I understand you knew how to handle a gun at the age of 3.
Oh, no, we rarely use a gun. You see, my friend Betts has been studying karate for several years.
You know, it's not so often as a girl, especially a girl of your age, shows so much ingenuity and courage. How did you get to be so, exceptional?
Well, actually, I'm not the
Girls
only one.
look
My
modest
friends-
about heroism. Daughter of famous criminal lawyer Ned's culprits without firing a shot. Oh, I enjoy these adventures, and it's a swell excuse to have to cut class.
You bet.
You thought we solved all of our mysteries while we were on school vacations, didn't you?
Could you solve 32 adventures in a year's worth of school vacations?
I think we're coming to Loon Lake. What does the sign say?
Loon Lake. Population 1,672. This is it. Oh, gee, what a sweet little town.
There's a swell place. I wonder what that is.
Ooh, golly, that's the biggest estate I've ever seen. All hidden away there among the trees. Oh, slow down, Tansy. Well, look, there's the front gate. Clack Manor. Do you suppose that's a private home?
Well, we'll be staying at the Clack View Arms. It must be somewhere nearby.
There it is.
Right across the street. It's lovely.
Oh, I agree, Bets. It is lovely and strangely familiar, too, although I can't quite put my finger on why.
Oh, at last! I've been watching for you all afternoon. I'm Anne Hargrove, owner of the Clackview Arms. And you must be Tansy True. Oh, girl sleuth and daughter of Carlson True.
The famous criminal lawyer.
you, but it is such an honor to have you and your friends as guests at my hotel.
Oh, well, take that thing out there. I am Tansy True, Miss Hargrove. And these are my dear friends, Plump Bets and Mannish Joe.
My goodness, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I thought that is your Tansy True. I would have thought.
But the funnier one couldn't have been the girl sleuth. Tut, tut, Miss Hargrove, you see how these stereotypes get started.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant at all.
Please come in. You'll want to unpack, of course. And I have a lovely room for you with a view of the Clack Manor grounds across the way. Again, I hope you'll come downstairs and join me for a cup of tea.
Chapter 2, The Mysterious Estate. It was not long before the intriguing estate across the way again drew our curiosity. Scarcely had we begun to unpack than we discovered an excellent vantage point for viewing the mysterious Clack Manor grounds.
Tansy True was not by nature meddlesome, but she did possess a healthy curiosity that made her the remarkable detective she so often proved herself to be.
From up here, you can see the whole estate. Look, Tansy, there's another house on the grounds all hidden away among those trees. You see it?
Oh, a wonderful old Victorian monstrosity. Look, there's a light in the attic window.
Oh, there is. Oh, I wish we had some binoculars.
I have some. Well, when you go on a trip, you never know what personal items you might need. That is not a toy, dear.
My. And you girls call yourselves detectives? Why, you're nothing but a bunch of voyeurs, if you ask me. Have people no right to their privacy?
Oh, Betsy, you have absolutely no curiosity. Let me see, Tansy. Hey, there's a figure in that window. Someone's standing and looking out.
With a pair of binoculars aimed right at us, I'll bet. Hey, let's give them something to look at.
Something fluttering, a scarf? No, a bird. And now the person is letting the bird fly out of the window.
Let me see. Nope, I don't see anything. They must have gone inside.
Baffled by the odd occurrence, I was eager to learn more about the old estate. Even though there was nothing about the appearance of someone in a lighted window to suggest a mystery, I had a strange feeling about it. It was this intuition that often led me following up important clues.
At that very moment, Anne Hargrove, whose kind greeting only a short while earlier had made us feel so welcome, entered the room with a tray of hot tea.
Oh, I hope you don't mind, but I was getting lonely, so I just brought your tea up here. Oh, may I join you?
Oh, it's all right. We were just, we were just watching your neighbors take their baths.
Oh, well, of course. Oh, yes.
We were curious about the old estate across the way. It's very beautiful. Who owns it?
Oh, that place. Well, for years, it was a very exclusive private mental hospital. Oh. But when the director retired, he removed the patients and turned it into his private residence. Oh, it's quite a show place.
So it is a private home now?
Yes, although the owner, Dr. Kent Clack, is often away, caretakers keep it up. Here you are. You can tour the house if you'd like. On weekends, it's open to the public.
Wow, jeepers, that's a keen idea, Tansy. Let's go there tomorrow.
Yes, that would be a lark. And the old Victorian mansion, nestled back among those trees, who lives there?
Oh, you mean Hillhaven. Well, no one is quite clear about it, but I've heard it said that Dr. Clack houses one mental patient there left over from the old days. They say that the doctor agreed to keep him as a personal favor to a friend.
What's the matter with him?
Oh, I couldn't say exactly. Only that he's supposed to be violent and dangerous. Well, there are signs posted, all over saying to keep away from the house. An attendant guards around the clock, they say.
Oh, goodness. Doesn't he ever get to go outside?
I've never seen him outside, poor man.
Oh, it's sad to think of someone locked up for years and years. He must get very lonely.
That must be why we saw the bird. It's probably a pet.
Oh, what bird?
Well, we saw a bird fly out of the window in the attic.
Oh, if I were you, I'd stay away from that place. You don't think there's a mystery there, do you?
Of course there's a mystery there. For one thing, we're 2 days overdue for one.
And for another, you don't think our stumbling onto an old Victorian mansion and a person held captive in an attic is just a coincidence, do you?
And you. You probably have this whole plot figured out from top to bottom, don't you? These stories are nothing if not transparent. But if you do know what's going to happen, please do have the decency to keep it to yourself and at least pretend that the suspense is mounting. Thank you.
You know, I believe the attendant has a woman friend staying at that house.
Why? What makes you think so?
Well, I have seen a woman looking out the window there, and one time I was spending the night with Edwina. That is the evening with my friend, Edwina Smythley. I am careful, discreet with the people I meet. I am cautious, afraid. On this bed I have made, can I lie in it? Who will pry in it? I'm not sure that I want you to know. From my roots will there be hoots? Will I offend a dear old friend? And my family, whom I do care about, can they handle it when I do blare it out? I'm much older than you are, my dears, which may feed my irrational fears. But I've done it. I've spent the whole night. In the morning, I felt it was right. I'm falling in love with Edwina. Life is so low with the changing of my whole demeanor. I want all the world to know that I've fallen in love with Edwina, and I'm wanting to shout it with joy. I am free, I am free, and I want you to see that I know Edwina loves me. Yes, Edwina and I are lovers. Have known what it is to be born. And who cares if the whole world discovers how old people can have some fun? Edwina, Edwina, too long since I've seen ya. Edwina, I feel so much cleaner. Now nothing's concealed and so much is revealed. Edwina, we heard that the lunatic had escaped. We saw the attendant and Dr. Clack searching the grounds for him with flashlights. We heard Dr. Clack angrily reprimand the attendant for being so careless. Then we saw a woman hiding in the bushes as the men went by, and we supposed that the attendant had been with this woman when he should have been on guard, and that's how the lunatic got away.
Oh, well, what happened to the mental patient?
Oh, I heard they captured him again. Yes, they moved him to the attic after that. Oh, it's very sad, really. But Tansy, let's talk about more cheerful things, hmm? Oh, we've all read so much about you in the newspapers, dear. Oh, you're a very brave and clever young woman.
Tansy flushed. A naturally modest girl by nature, she was embarrassed by praise. People were always amazed by her unwillingness to take credit for her accomplishments.
So, how did you happen to become a girl?
Well, she was already a girl, so she'd half the problem licked.
I guess I've always been interested in solving mysteries ever since my father, Carlson True,
The famous criminal lawyer.
started telling me about his cases. You see, after my mother died, Father hired Hedda Bruin
Old and faithful housekeeper.
to do all of the work that he had Mother doing for free. And I was too young to work, so he taught me to listen to him brag when he came home from the office. It was a very convenient arrangement for him, and that's how I became a detective.
Oh, well, you certainly are very fortunate young women. Oh, when I was your age, we weren't allowed to even venture out of the house without an older brother or an elderly aunt to chaperone us. Why, the very idea of 16-year-old females driving around in an automobile, why, it just would have been unheard of.
Well, that's true. In the 1880s, an automobile was unheard of.
Women are so emancipated today. You know, voting, wearing trousers, using birth control. Why, if I had known there was such a thing as birth control, I might have tried marriage.
It's a good thing she didn't know there was such a thing as birth control. She might have made a big mistake.
With so much freedom, how do you manage to keep out of trouble with men?
Oh, it's easy.
Yes, it is. We just present a united front.
Presenting unity will make the men all flee. We just say love me, love all three.
Some men find it fun to choose the dainty one. They plot and scheme.
But I say love me, love the team. There are lots of men who'd like to tuck her in. They think she's giddy, think she's fed. But I say love me, love my friends. The ones who want her most, they are the ones who boast. You're pretty brainy for a girl. But I say love me, love my pals. Presenting unity will make the man all flee. We just say love me, love all three. They think that they can win and take us from our friends, but we say love me, love all three. We just say love me, love all three, love all three, love all three.
Well, there's not a man alive who can relate to all three types at once.
Oh, very clever indeed. More tea.
Oh, yes, yummy. Thank you so much.
Well, I suspect you young women. Oh, my. Oh, yes. Dear. Don't know my own house. Once again, I suspect you young women are fatigued after your long drive, so I'll just say my surprise until tomorrow. Surprise? Oh, my goodness, now I've let it out, haven't I? No. I promised myself I'd let you rest, but tomorrow, after you tour the Clack estate, come back to the hotel for luncheon, and your curiosities will be satisfied then. I promise. And now, my dears, I leave you to yourselves.
What could it be? Chapter 3, An Unpleasant Encounter. After a refreshing sleep, we sprang out of bed and dressed hurriedly. We were eager to begin the day's activities with a tour of the Clack estate. Tansy enjoyed the guided tour, asking many intelligent questions.
Soon, however, we grew impatient to do a bit of exploring on our own. We slipped away from the guided tour and soon found ourselves in a formal but secluded and untended garden.
Well, do my feet hurt?
There's something I hate worse than guided tours. 2 hours of on your left, you'll see the original 17th century chamber pot cherished by the first owner's daughter, Eloise.
And all the places that you want to see are roped off or locked up.
I'm sure this garden isn't on the tour.
Do you think the guide will notice that we slipped away?
No, she was too busy trying to remember her lines.
Oh, say, we're by that old house, aren't we?
I think so. It looks as though no one tends this place. It's all neglected. Weeds everywhere. This old bird bath is cracked and chipped and... What's this? What? Little strips of material. I wonder what they're doing in the bird bath. Looks like bits of cloth. They've been here a long time, you see. They're all stained with something.
Paint?
Rust? Blood, perhaps. Funny stains, little marks.
Suddenly, we were startled out of the strange strip of cloth by the appearance of a large man. Crashing through the bushes, he glared at us menacingly.
What are you girls doing here?
We are not girls. We are women, big tough women. Better call us women or sit down. Think it over. You like clover, enough to push it up from underground. How many times do we have to say you can't call us girls that way? We are women, we're not girls. We shouldn't have to make a fuss. You can get along with us. For us women, we're not girls. We are women, angry women. Call us women or we'll turn your face around. You're about to raise our dander. 1 more step and we will run you out of town. How many times do we have to say you can't call us girls that way? We are women, we're not girls. We shouldn't have to make a fuss. You can't get along with us. Call us women, we're not girls. Don't imagine that we're joking. It's the word that really makes us want to fly. Call us women, call us women, call us women, and you better get it right. How many times do we have to say you can't call us girls that way? We are women, we're not girls. We shouldn't have to make a fuss. You can get along with us. Call us women, we're not girls.
What?
We all started our menstrual period 4 years ago.
Read for me.
And that makes us women. We women resent being called girls. It's no compliment.
It's condescending.
And patronizing.
How would you like it if we called you boy?
Hey, just a minute. I asked you what you're doing here. This is private property.
Private property, oh, we don't believe in that.
The land belongs to everyone.
No one has the right to own an estate this large.
You see, the money that bought this place was eked out of the sweat of the working people.
I don't know what you crazy females are talking about, but you better get out before I throw yous out.
Oh, yeah? You and... Who else?
Yeah, what are you hiding you don't want us to see?
Nothing. What makes you think I'm hiding anything?
Well, you certainly are defensive about something.
Look, I'm warning you for your own good. It's dangerous here. There's no telling what kind of wild beasts lurk in these woods.
So we see. What wild beasts? There are no wild beasts in these parts.
Never you mind, girlie. Just
How many times do we have to say?
all right already, but I'm telling you, it's dangerous here. Now, my instructions are to keep people off these grounds, and that means you.
Do you work up at that big house, Hillhaven?
None of your business.
My, he's secretive, isn't he?
We heard there was a prisoner in that house.
That's no prisoner. That's a mental patient, eh? And you better keep away unless you want your throats cut by a lunatic. Now, I'm warning you for the last time. Get out, or I'll have to use this.
Oh, nice gun! Is that a 38?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Oh, I don't really know anything about guns. My brother had one just like that. You know, it's just the sort of gun I'd expect a big, strong man like you to carry. Could I touch it? Ooh. How's it work? How do you hold it? Oh, I'm sure my little hand is much too small.
Here you go, little lady. Yeah, now be careful. That thing's loaded.
Oh, thanks, sucker. Now get lost before I blast your balls off.
Say, I would like to give that fellow a good old punch in the jaw.
Thanks. Save your energy until you really need it.
It sure was defensive about something.
I wonder what he was hiding.
I don't know, but what do you say we go find out?
Now, let's get out of here. We've had enough of this garden. Chapter 4, what can it mean? Returning to our hotel, we were treated to a simple but delicious luncheon by Anne Hargrove. This gentle and dignified old woman at last confessed to us the surprise she had promised the day before. Now, we were amazed to learn that this hotel, the lovely Clackview Arms, had once been Tansy's childhood home.
That explains the strange feeling I'd been here before, Miss Hargrove.
Yes, my dear, but the house must seem very different from when you lived here.
Oh, well, I was only 4 when we left Loon Lake. I don't really remember much about it. You have arranged it very cozily, I must say.
Oh, well, it suits me. Some of my friends say, Annie, it's much too large for one person to manage alone. But I've always liked big, old houses, and it's a way to make ends meet. Oh, my goodness, I almost forgot. I have something for you.
Oh, what is it?
A packet of letters. I found them when I cleaned out the attic, and I saved them thinking young Tansy might want them someday.
Whose are they?
They're addressed to my mother. From Jeannie Knocknagel.
Jeannie Knocknagel?
I don't know. Perhaps a friend. I don't think I have any relatives by that name.
Open one.
Oh. Dear Susan, that was my mother's name, Susan. You have made a wise decision, though of course there will be difficulties. I am always here if you need me. I have every confidence you will succeed, my dearest friend, and I applaud your courage and your strength of will. On the subject of your little Tansy, don't entertain a doubt. She will be as proud of you as I am.
Oh. What was it about? Do you know?
No.
Well, when was it written?
February 25th, 1925, just a few days before she died. I wonder what decision she made.
Well, why don't you read through the rest of them while I make us all some tea?
Yes, that's a good idea. Why don't you read some more, Tansy? Maybe the letters will tell us something.
No, I don't feel like reading through them now. I'll read them later, when I have more time. Heavens, what's this?
Oh, it's a strip of cloth from that old Birdbath.
Oh, yes, curious thing. I wonder what it was doing in the bird bath. Too small to be used as a rag, and heavens, what's this?
What?
The marks that look like blood? They're letters.
You're right. See, Tansy, they spell a word.
L-H-E-L-P.
Hikers, Tansy, it spells hell.
And here's an H and an I, and oh, the rest is all frayed and torn.
How strange. Who could have written it?
And how did it come to be in the bird bath?
If you know, don't tell.
I say we go back to that old garden and investigate. Those other scraps of cloth may have words written on them as well.
Yes. Oh, what about our friend with the gun? Oh, he doesn't have the gun anymore. Remember?
Chapter 5, The Clue in the Old Birdbath. It was around 6 o'clock when we made our way back to the old garden and its mysterious birdbath, and after diligent efforts of unearthing the puzzling scraps of material, we were beginning to doubt whether our investigations would prove fruitful.
What a mess! Oh, these scraps have been here a long time. Whatever was written on them is faded from the dampness.
Let's keep looking.
It's no use, Joe. We have looked at them all. I'm afraid Tansy found the only scrap that made any sense. Look! Oh! 'Tis a bird, come to take a bath.
But look what's in it.
Something is hanging there.
Oh, and I'll bet you anything, it's more strips just like these with a fresh message written on them.
I'll see if I can get it.
Be careful. You must come here regularly and drop these messages.
Tomorrow, too late, Hill Haven.
Hill Haven! The place where the mental patient is locked up. Do you think it would seem so?
He's in trouble.
Or she?
She? You think a woman is locked up in there? Why? What makes you think so?
Look at this writing. It's still wet.
Yeah, she must have been really desperate, cutting herself to use her own blood.
Think again.
Huh? Oh. Oh! Every month! So that's why it has to be a woman. Good thinking, Tansy.
Before tomorrow, something terrible is going to happen to her. We must try to help her before it's too late. That's yours, Bess. It's almost dusk. Let's go over to the old mansion and investigate.
Yes.
Let's go over to the old mansion and investigate. It's almost dusk. The darkness will cover us and maybe we'll find a way to get inside.
Do we have a gun? Or a flashlight?
No, there's no time to go back to the hotel for them. We'll just have to use our wits.
If this were 1950s Tansy True Mystery, Nat Nicholson would show up right now. Nat Nicholson is Tansy's clean-cut boyfriend who is always between semesters at Emerson University.
We suspect that Nat Nicholson never actually attended Emerson University, and that is why he's always between semesters.
No, the worst problem is that whenever Nat shows up, he always brings his two friends, Bob Ederson and Steve Andrews. And then there are 3 boys and 3 girls, nice and symmetrical.
And Nat drools all over Tansy's body, discreetly, of course, so you would never think of him as anything but a clean-cut, wholesome youth.
But luckily it's the 30s, and we have another 20 years before that feminine mystique dribble.
Oh, boy. But there's one thing I hate. It's men barging in and doing your strong arm work for you.
Hi, Tansy. We heard you girls were in trouble, so we thought we'd come and help out. Right, Bob?
You bet, Nat. Just let us at those fellows' bets and we'll show them a thing or two. Right, Steve?
Sure thing, Bob. Don't now pull a stunt like that again, not as long as we're around, and that's a promise.
Now, you wait here, girls, while we do a little reconnoitering.
If you hear any signs of trouble, just run for safety. We'll meet you back in town in 1 hour.
If we're not back in an hour, go for the police.
Say, Nat, do you think you can handle this mob?
Gosh. Well, you bet, Tansy. Don't you worry about a thing. Though, I think it's swell of you to care about what happens to me. You bet! I'd do anything for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. I'd be anything for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. I'd tackle the mob. I'd handle the job. I'd love her a gob. My heart is a throb for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. Tansy, Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. I'd go anywhere for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. I'd be up there for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. I'd beat up 8 guys. I'd blacken their eyes. I'd wear a disguise. I'd even tell lies for Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. Tansy, Tansy. Tansy, Tansy, Tansy. Tansy has fame
Just bring us up to date on the mystery and point us in the right direction.
Well, it's sure a good thing that you fellows showed up when you did.
Yes, it was getting to be a bit more than we could handle, but now that you're here, we can relax. Boys, listen carefully. A gang of thieves has stolen a priceless statue, the only asset of a poverty-stricken widow with 8 children to feed. The loss of this precious and sentimental object has made her so despondent that she hourly struggles against the temptation to kill herself. The thieves are in hiding in an old warehouse. Yikes! Surrounded by a gang of dope peddlers who are trying to steal the statue in order to pay off a gang of smugglers who won't deliver a load of heroin without advance payment. This gang is ensconced in a factory across the street, watching every movement in and out of the warehouse. Yikes! Meanwhile, a gang of brave dogmatic has kidnapped a brigade of innocent Salvation Army workers, stripped them, shut them up in a sewer behind the factory, while disguising themselves in their uniforms in order to inconspicuously capture the heroin as soon as it changes hands. One of the Salvation Army workers is a diabetic. Must receive her next injection within the hour, or she will go into an irreversible coma and die. And somewhere among these crazed dope addicts is a former child star who turned to dope when a fickle public rejected her for growing out of being cute. Unbeknownst to this child star, a famous movie director is looking for her to ask her to play the part of St. John in the most artistic revival of this film ever made. She is tottering hopelessly on the brink of her addiction, but if she can be brought this hopeful news, there is every possibility she could be rehabilitated. So, all you have to do, boys, is
To get the statue out of the hands of the thieves without being caught by the smugglers or dope peddlers. Little word. If or and get the heroin out of the hands of the dope peddlers without being caught by the crazed dope addicts. 2. Toward. Then return the statue to its rightful owner before she kills herself. Find the child star disguised as a Salvation Army worker. Little word. And bring her the good news before she takes an overdose. And bring all the gangs to sounds like we, them, us. Us sounds like justice. Justice! To justice, to justice, to justice for all. It's 6 o'clock now. Be back here by 7.
Here's a map showing locations of the factory, the warehouse, the places, and the gangs. X's mark entrances and exits, arrows mark secret passageways. Floor plans indicate possible hiding spots for statue, heroin,
Chapter 6, An Ugly Conference. We made our way quickly to the old mansion. There was something treacherous about the place, and we were sure that a hidden menace awaited us behind its shaded windows.
I was certain the veil of mystery that surrounded Clack Manor would be drawn back that very night.
Suddenly, we heard heavy footsteps coming up the path, and that very moment, the front door opened.
Good evening, Bess. Good evening, Dr. Clark.
Is everything ready?
Yeah, I got the upstairs room all fixed up and sterilized, just like you said.
Good. And she, what sort of a mood is she in?
A bit agitated, I'm afraid. She was pacing her room all day. I found her tearing up her bedsheet.
Doing what?
Tearing her bedsheet into small strips.
What for? Does she imagine she can tie them together and escape?
No, not that kind of strip. Little pieces. I'm afraid she may be going off her rocker.
An ironic twist, if ever there was one. Well, I take it there's been no trouble of any kind. No complication?
No, sir. Willie.
Well, what?
No complications, just some trespassers this morning.
Trespassers who?
Just some women, girls, that is, out on the lark. They'd strayed from the guided tour and found their way into the garden behind the old house. But I scared them off. They won't be back.
Good. Do you have your gun handy? She suspects but that there might be trouble, and I would rather have her submit quietly.
Yeah, well, I'd have to get it from my room, but that won't be necessary. I can handle it.
Good. I'm going to need your help. You're not squeamish, are you?
Who, me? Hey, don't make me laugh.
Good. Because this operation is very delicate. And I don't want to kill her, you understand? I just do everything I tell you to do. Yeah?
Dr. Clack, I just have one question. What's wrong with her? I mean, sometimes she don't seem exactly crazy to me. Just sort of mean.
She suffers from an illness more common in women than you might imagine. In lay terms, she wishes she had a weenie.
Tell me, Dr. Clack, will this procedure really tame her?
She will be as docile as a cow. Pookie in your hands, so to speak.
No more of her lip. That'd be a pleasant change. I'm sick of her back talk. Never does a thing she's told without a fight. Hey, she laughs at me. Hey, now we'll see who has the last laugh. Hey.
I promise you, after this operation, she will be so placid you can bring her down here and put her to doing the housework, or she won't raise a whimper.
It's a miracle cure. Too bad you didn't know about it years ago.
Put on your dancing shoes.
Gesundheit.
I am a scientist, stout und tot. My laboratory is the human mind. I pull with wires and I turn the screw that opens up the psyche, so I find. Why all my patients cannot cope with life? Why they all lose heart? I will leave the pleasure of their slain and strife, because I am so smart. The reason that I'm smart is that I study best. Decipher society is cool. The people that don't follow it go through hell until I put them on the road. To conformity, security, and peace of mind. Success is the capital S. And the method I employ to release them from their bind is one that I am sure you can all guess. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? L-O-B-O-T-O-M-Y. It's such a simple thing. No need to follow the real reason why. Just come along and sing. I have a passion for digging the weak. Females are very weird. They are no trouble when they are asleep, but mostly they are to be feared. I know the secret to madness and pain. My hands are in every pie. But there's one truth that is simple and plain. L-O-B-O-T-O-N-Y. In women is dangerous and weird. They are using every while. So I can conquer the way that they feel. Low bottom me is just my style. L-O-B-O-T-O-M-Y. It doesn't hurt at all. Grab us as questions and give it a try. Follow my handy bouncing ball. L-O-B-O-T-O-M-Y. It's such a simple thing. Once you've been treated, there's no need to cry. You'll feel that you belong. But enough of all this singing. Let's get it done, oh boy.
Lock, no!
Hello, the rest of them are too. I tried all over the house.
We have to get in there. You heard what they're going to do to her. Why don't we just call the police? By the time we got to a phone and the police came, it might be too late.
Oh, hey, what about this? Could we fit down that coat shoot?
It's a tight fit. I think you and I can make
behind without being detected. Off a narrow hallway was a heavy door, which Dr. Clack unlocked with a large key. The door swung open, and the men went inside, just as Tansy and Joe crept silently onto the landing. I was too restless to wait, so I went in search for another way into the house.
Cut it out. Yes, Susan, you're looking a bit peaked today. Haven't you been resting as I recommended?
You will have to kill me to get me out of this room.
Okay.
Susan, what are you talking about? Nobody here is trying to kill you.
I'd sooner kill myself than be a vegetable. You want to turn me into a slobbering flunky like this fool here.
Shut up! You! You won't be talking so smartly after we get through with you.
Please. Oh, you're right, Susan, of course. Yeah, he is a bit of a goon. Oh, what is the matter? Has he been frightening you with his childish lies? Oh, nuggies on the head for you, you little But pay no attention to him. Susan. But two. Hammermeal. And maybe to prescribe a tonic for your nerves. You see how agitated you are. Then will you understand that I am only trying to help you?
You know, Clack, I read your interesting article on the psychodynamics of penis envy in the post-suffrage female.
Indeed.
Quite a coup to have it published in the prestigious Journal of Paternalistic Practice and Theory.
Very nice.
Rex allowed me to read the copy you gave him.
Interesting.
I found it quite enlightening.
I know you said no reading materials, Dr. Clack, but you were so hard.
It's all right, Rex. Once in a while, something of an edifying nature can do no harm.
I had a time unfolding it, however.
Say, I never did.
Rex is so good with his hands.
I only have 10 complimentary copies of that article, you fool! And you have some nerve vandalizing a serious manuscript.
You know, Clack, I'm sure your article will be just what you need to give your career a flying leap forward. And do you want to know why?
No, I don't.
Good. I'll tell you. Men who go into psychiatry rather than lungs or podiatry play a good trick when they make people sick who prior to treatment were mildly unhappy, confused, or making a change, but certainly not deranged. In this one semester of Freud 203, 2 courses in symptomatology, and soon they're dispensing Benzedrine routinely for the blues. The man who goes into psychiatry
young lady. Your paranoia is becoming dangerous.
And find that you're paranoid.
Susan, you are a very sick woman.
Worry.
I have not imprisoned you. No. You were in need of a little bit of care. I only consented to take you as a patient because your husband was a friend of mine, and he suffered terribly to see you losing your mind.
He suffered terribly to see me losing my illusions about him, you mean?
And I see how irrationally you're talking.
I know what you plan to do to me, and you'd better not try it. Help is on the way. I have friends on the outside who know about your scheme. Oh, don't lie. No one knows you're here. You're crazy.
Calm down. She's bluffing. Really, Susan? Your fantasies are becoming more grandiose.
What?
Grandiose.
Come again.
Big!
Oh, yeah, big.
Now, I am losing my patience with you. You are going to collaborate while I give you a simple routine examination.
No! Ow.
Not bad. All right, let's get up under the gun in here. Ready? Fight! You are not fine. Let's go. Oh, God, hit him with the bullets. Oh, for goodness sakes, you go get a little in. I love it when she talks like that. Oh, now we are ready. Oh, now, we will give her some of this chloroform so she doesn't wake up while we are operating.
I demand that you let that woman go.
It's those girls, the ones from the garden. Hey, but where's the other one?
She's already gone to the police, so you might as well give yourselves up now.
Now, see here, my dear young ladies, it is you who are violating the law by trespassing on private property.
Oh, private property. We don't believe in private property.
And you are interfering. This is like trying to scare this patient. However, we have some unfinished business to attend to, so if you don't mind being my guest in this room for just a little while, we'll just get back to what we're doing, yeah?
Over our dead bodies.
Joe!
to worry. They weren't up to anything, just 3 girls off on a lark.
Nicholson, shut up on the tire.
Ah, sure thing, Mr. True.
Mr. True! It is you, Dad!
Yes, Tansy, it is I, your father, Carlson True.
The famous criminal lawyer!
I had my friend Clack's permission to impersonate him while he was away on his many travels. It was an easy task since I had a degree in psychiatric medicine in addition to my law degree, as well as vast experience in the art of disguise.
But, Dad, you're supposed to be out upholding the cause of justice. What are you doing keeping that woman captive?
You mean you don't know who she is?
I have my suspicions.
If you didn't, you'd be no daughter of mine. You're a chip off the old block, Tansy, and I regret that our relationship will now be coming to an end. Nat! What are you doing?
Trying to untie you, sir.
Stevedores not with an overhand bow. Good work, Joe.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, don't you have a knife? Just cut it.
Oh, sure thing, Mr. True. I got my Eagle Scout badge last week. And you know, every good scout always carries a good, all-purpose pocket knife.
The knot.
Oh, sure.
Put it between your legs, Nat.
Oh, thanks, Tansy.
Give me that knife.
Oh, sure.
But my teeth, you fool.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. If you put up a struggle, that woman won't get out of here alive. Oh, I am so sorry about this, Tansy. But oh well, can't be helped. Give me the chloroform next. I promise you it will be easy and painless, not unlike falling asleep. I would never want you to suffer.
Dad, you've lost my respect.
Oh, no! Tie them up, Rex.
Okay. So, Nat, this guy I know his Clack is really Carlson True. You got yourself mixed up with him.
Fool, I thought I told you to keep your nose clean. Hey, hold still here, will you?
I'm sorry, Dad.
Dad?
Carlson True promised he'd give me a football scholarship to Emerson University. You never kept your promise.
That's all.
Very good. Yes, I see that someone's been drilling you on your attack, Tansy.
I am shocked to discover that all along you've been a cad, Dad.
Not so much of a cad that I didn't teach you how to defend yourself.
From my own father.
Pretty good face. I taught you well.
Cover your highline, Dad.
Tansy, don't let me trying to kill you.
Never lunge with an extension short at the target.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's better. You do quite well for a girl.
You're getting out of breath, Dad. Perhaps you want to keep your patronizing comments to yourself.
Leave him for Joe. Get him on the road.
sharp. No sharper than the pain in my heart, Dad.
Well, let's tie these rascals up before they regain consciousness.
Having overpowered the villains, we now turned our attention to our captives. Carlson True smugly reminded us that although he was momentarily at our mercy, his power and influence would make it difficult for us to make any charges stick.
I hope you've carefully considered what you plan to do with us.
Gee whiz, Tansy. You aren't gonna kill us, are you?
Don't tempt me, Nat.
No, of course they're not going to kill us. Even if their characters didn't call for them to be compassionate and humane. There's the fact that they'd be charged with murder.
What are we going to do with them?
He's right, Tansy. Where do we go from here?
He does have the power of the law on his side.
That's right. You've been clever, but not clever enough. You're in a tight spot now, that's clear. What's more, if you hadn't been blinded by filial devotion, you could have apprehended me 32 times in the last year.
32 times?
Was the brains behind the triple tarantula gang in the secret of the silver pagoda? Not Carlson True, the famous criminal lawyer. The same.
Dad, I don't believe it.
Remember Henri Jacquet and his gang of jewel thieves?
The mystery at the ski lodge. You were their real leader.
I won't deny it.
But surely you didn't have anything to do with the mystery of the spiral stairway.
Yes, I won't deny it.
But why, Dad? Why, Carlson? Why? Dad, I am disappointed in you. Carlson True, the famous criminal. Carlson True, the famous criminal. Carlson True, the famous criminal.
Lawyer!
With all these crimes to your friend, can you hope to evade justice? Your card's finished wrapped. I'm lost in confusion and I feel betrayed.
There's no evidence against me, not a scrap.
More than a scrap, Carlson True.
Hedda Bruin, old and faithful housekeeper.
I've gathered evidence on you in every mystery, from the secret of the old dock to the clue in the bread box.
But Hedda, you never left the house once in 12 years. Except to go to the grocery store. How did you manage to obtain all this evidence?
Well, simple. On wash days, I went through all his pockets and I kept everything I found. Men are so careless with their dirty laundry.
But Hedda, why didn't you turn in Carlson True, the famous criminal?
The lawyer.
After his first crime.
Well, I knew he had done something to this woman here, but I didn't know what. And I was afraid of endangering her life.
But Hedda, how did you find us?
Oh, it was the last clue. A prescription for chloroform signed by a Dr. Kent Clack.
And that's why you sent me to Loon Lake to track her down.
Well, it would have looked suspicious if I had gone.
Oh, look, she's coming around.
Oh, it's okay. We captured your jailers.
It's over then?
Yes, and you're free.
But how did you find me? How did you know?
Well, it was your bird. That was so clever of you.
But I've been sending that bird out every month for 12 years. I was afraid I'd soon reach menopause and have no way to send messages. But who are you?
Oh, well, I'm Manish Joe Payne. That's plump and dimpled Dex Marvine, Hedda Bruin, old and faithful housekeeper. And this, well, this is Tansy True, girl sleuth and detective.
Tansy True?
Could you be
My baby.
Mother?
the hood of Tansy's green roadster. Eagerly, we sprang into the automobile, and without a moment's hesitation, we were speeding along the open highway. We all let out a hearty sigh of We all let out a hearty sigh of relief, sank back against the plump cushions, and allowed ourselves to unravel the last tangled threads of this mystery.
But, Mother, over all those years, you never recognized Father.
Of course. I saw through that disguise in 2 seconds. But I never let on that I knew. I thought it wiser to play as dumb as he always thought me.
Why did he do it? I don't understand.
I was helping him with his work and became fascinated with the law. My friend Jeannie Nothnagel suggested I go to law school. Carlson wouldn't hear of it. I told him I couldn't stay in a marriage where I wasn't respected as an individual in my own right. He refused to help me go to law school, so I told him I would leave him.
What did he do?
He said I was unnatural and abnormal. He was very ambitious. He kept saying I would ruin him, whether I left or whether I stayed and pursued a career.
Well, when did he get the idea to lock you up?
Just before I was about to leave with Tansy, he and Rex kidnapped me and took me to that big house at Clack Sanitarium. That day, 12 years ago, was the last time I saw you, Tansy.
Oh, Mother, you've been strong and defiant all these years.
The road.
How did you manage it?
I fixed my mind on escape and tried never to think of anything but escape. Once I actually got away, but they caught me just before I got to the gate.
But, Hannah, when did you first suspect Carlson True?
Well, 12 years ago, when Jeannie Nothnagel sent me to look after Tansy and to find out what happened to you, Susan.
Jeannie Nothnagel?
Could you be none other?
She's your mom?
It's Hedda Nothnagel, mother of Jeannie Nothnagel. She was just like a mom to me. It's been 30 years.
Oh, look, I hate to put a damper on your reunion, but I'm still worried that even with Hedda's evidence, we won't have enough against Carlson True. I mean, what's to prevent him from buying off the courts and the police and the politicians if it comes to that?
She's right. In every mystery I ever solved, all I had to do was tell the police who I was.
Tansy True, daughter of Carlson True, the famous criminal lawyer.
And all the doors would be open to me.
Oh, if only we knew someone to vouch for your sanity 12 years ago.
I'm afraid there is no one.
Mother, what about your friend, Jeannie Nothnagel?
Yes, Jeannie, my dearest friend. How I've longed for her.
Mother, the woman who lives in our old house gave me these. Do you think they may be of some help?
Jeannie's letters! Carlson didn't approve of my relationship with Jeannie, so I had to hide all of our correspondence. But she's just a poor typist for a Boston newspaper. What chance would we have against someone as influential as Carlson True? Eugenia Nothnagel, the little clerk, and me, a crazy woman escaped from a mental hospital.
Eugenia Nothnagel!
Oh!
That's my little girl.
Eugenia Nothnagel, famous investigative reporter and social critic for the Boston Globe.
Eugenia Nothnagel, who exposed the story of widespread corruption in the Works Progress Administration and won a Nobel Prize, and is known for her work on behalf of the poor and unemployed.
Eugenia Nothnagel, who turned down President Roosevelt's offer to head up a commission on social reform because it wasn't radical enough.
Is she famous?
Mother, she is a leader of the people.
And she has a sympathy at one of the most influential newspapers in the country.
And she sent Hedda to look after my Tansy.
Oh, and to find out what happened to you, Susan.
She must still care. Did she ever marry?
No. Oh, I read an interview once, and the reporter asked her if it was true that the love of her life had died 12 years ago, and then she asked if it was true that she still remained loyal to that memory. And
What did she say?
no, she just smiled mysteriously and changed the subject.
Well, I promise you one thing, Mother.
What?
You are going to law school.
But Tansy, dear, I have no money.
Yes, you do. I'll sell my green roadster. Only an underdeveloped class contract me to keep it in the first place. From now on, I'm taking public transportation. off the old block, you might say.
Is there a mystery here? Is there a mystery here? Do birds go south in winter? Do babies mess their drawers? Do women want an equal break? Are politicians whores? Of course there's a mystery here. Look, a mystery round the corner. It's knocking at our doors. We knew there was a mystery here. Followed every clue. We cracked out all the levels. We turned up something new. Help wanted, many not applied. Undaunted, women come on by. We're hiring immediately. The offer's on the table. Recruiting new detectives just as soon as they are able. Is there a mystery here? Is there a mystery here? Come close, link arms, join the group. Sister Soups, attack the scoop, attack the problem space. Of course, there's a mystery here.
We would especially like you, thank you for coming tonight. The Bulls have won.